All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the 2026 virtual card market to find the ultimate, absolute best payment solution for your digital business. Look, if you're running ads online, you already know the deal. Money needs to move fast. You literally cannot afford to wait for some slow, traditional bank to finally say yes to your scaling. So we're diving deep into the latest source data to see which platforms are actually delivering the goods for serious entrepreneurs this year.
Let's start with a scenario you are probably way too familiar with. You're scaling a massive winning ad campaign on Facebook or Google. Everything is dialed in perfectly, the ROI is looking incredible, and then boom, you get that dreaded payment failed alert. It's the absolute worst, right? Traditional bank cards are just notoriously slow and rigid for the fast-moving digital world. They see your high-frequency ad spending, get totally confused, block your ad accounts, and essentially freeze up your entire daily operation. It is a massive headache, and frankly, it's just the fastest way to kill your business momentum dead in its tracks.
And that brings us directly to the solution. The source material highlights that using a high-quality online payment card isn't just about, getting a random 16-digit number. It's really about getting what they call payment peace of mind. By using dedicated virtual cards, you are effectively creating this brilliant digital shield. You're completely separating your main savings from your online spending. So if a site you buy from has a data breach, your primary bank account is still completely locked down and protected. You actually get to sleep at night knowing your main funds are totally safe.
Okay, so let's dive into our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll briefly hit the virtual card revolution, map out the 2026 provider landscape, settle the whole Visa versus MasterCard debate, expose some really sneaky hidden costs, tackle speed and privacy, and then finally, reveal the ultimate choice based on the hard data.
Starting off with Section 1, the virtual card revolution, getting total control over your spending. Moving right along to Section 2, the 2026 provider landscape. We can honestly just call this the gladiator match. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer contrast in the market. It is absolutely flooded with options right now, but they are incredibly divided. We essentially took the top providers of the year and pitted them against each other to see who actually holds up for media buyers and high-growth businesses. Wise and Revolut, for instance, are incredibly popular for general everyday use and travelers because they have those low FX fees. But, and this is a massive but, here's the catch. They are heavily regulated banks with very, very strict KYC or Know Your Customer processes. The data consistently shows they are quick to freeze your accounts if they see high-frequency ad spend that they just don't understand. On the completely opposite end of that spectrum, you've got CardUpNow. It boasts super high ad stability and requires literally zero initial KYC. That means it's built specifically to keep your privacy completely intact while keeping your ad accounts running smoothly. Then you also have niche players like PS.net for media buyers or Waldester, which is strictly for large European teams, but comes with this massive administrative overhead. Which brings us to Section 3, Visa versus MasterCard, the technical nuance.
To the average person, these are just two different logos stamped on a piece of plastic. But in the professional world of global digital payments, there are these nuanced, absolutely crucial technical differences that most people completely overlook. First off, Visa and MasterCard don't actually issue the cards themselves. They're just the networks moving the money around. Visa is universally recognized as the undisputed leader in total global reach. So if you are running international campaigns, a virtual Visa is a remarkably safe bet because practically every single merchant on planet Earth accepts it. Now, on the flip side, MasterCard has made some massive leaps in 2026, specifically with B2B tech and tokenization. They're adding this extra, really solid layer of security for mobile wallets and crypto-linked cards. But honestly, the good news for marketers? Both of these networks work absolutely perfectly for major platforms like Facebook and Google Ads. The real win, the actual game changer, comes from the bank that issues the card, not just the network logo.
Section 4, the hidden costs, and why exactly free can actually be incredibly expensive.
Let's talk about the actual financial reality of running a digital business. Everybody loves the word free, right? But in the virtual card space, a so-called free card can end up bleeding your margins dry. And this brilliantly illustrates why. So many competitors hide these wildly aggressive currency markups. For example, Readout Pay might get you in the door for a super fast $10 setup, but then, bam, you are hit with a 1% crypto fee plus another 1.2% currency fee every time you load it. PayPal can actually sneak up to over 4% in hidden markups when the network is busy, just totally unpredictable. Compare that to CardUpNow's approach. They use a completely transparent one-time $50 activation fee and a flat standard load of around 5%.
When you are seriously scaling a business, having transparent, predictable fees is vastly superior to getting nickeled and dimed by hidden microcharges that just silently drain your profits.
Section 5. Speed and privacy, or as we like to call it, skipping the bank audit.
Look, let's be real for a second here. There is a total absurdity to the traditional banking setup process. Imagine having a massive ad launch slated for today, but you literally cannot spend your own money because platforms like Wise or Revolut are making you wait days. They're forcing you to upload multiple blurry selfies holding your ID and demanding utility bills just to verify who you are. It's infuriating when you're trying to move fast. Contrast that heavy, annoying friction with what the source data calls a low-friction platform like CardUpNow. The steps are beautifully simple. Step 1, enter your email. Step 2, buy your card. Step 3, spend. That is the whole shebang. Immediate setup with zero initial KYC required. You entirely bypass the headache of a bank-level audit, which allows you to secure your privacy and deploy your capital exactly when your business actually needs it.
And finally, Section 6, the ultimate choice, unbroken stability.
Bringing this all to its logical conclusion, serious media buyers and e-commerce entrepreneurs really just need one main thing. They need unbroken stability. They need to know for an absolute fact that their payment methods aren't going to be the bottleneck in their business. And according to the 2026 breakdown, CardUpNow straight up earns the title King of Stability. Why? Well, because they invest heavily in clean BINs, that's bank identification numbers. This means their cards are recognized as highly trusted by the big guys like Facebook and Google, drastically reducing the chances of your account getting banned. Add in the no initial KYC for ultimate privacy, the instant email setup, and the ability to access massive spending limits through their CardUp Elite tier, you have a tool that is built strictly for scaling without the bureaucratic headaches.
Which brings us to our final question for you. Are you ready to stop spending your valuable time fighting with bank support teams over flagged transactions and actually start focusing on scaling your business? If you want to secure your online privacy and get the clean numbers you actually need to keep the big ad platforms happy, you need to visit CardUpNow.com today. Just think about it for a second. How much faster could your business grow if your payment method was actually an accelerator instead of a roadblock?